Welcome to Rugby's glitziest night. It's the night the stars circle on their calendar. It's the night that sends shockwaves through the rugby world. It's the second annual 2CGDs. So sit back, relax, don't get your balls in a twist, and welcome your host, Mark from 2C's Rugby, and that other guy. What's his name? I don't know.
How long were you on the boob?
I don't know, actually.
My parents told me I was on the boob till I think 2. And I was like, 2? You're like running around and stuff. Why didn't you tell me to stop it? And they're like, oh, well, you seem to enjoy
You're
it.
one of those kids who was just like, ooh, that's a bit weird.
Yeah.
God, nice.
My kids were like, 1, and you're done.
Yeah, one's
That's it.
a good effort.
Yeah, 1. Oh, look at that. And then 2 for like nappies. You got to be toilet trained by 2.
Toilet trained by 2.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Off the boob by 1.
I can't remember.
Off the nappies by 2.
Yeah, you want to be toilet trained by the time you turn.
My nephew's
that's
like
right.
3 and he's still not toilet trained, and it's a bit like, come on.
Yeah, and 3-year-olds taking craps in the nappies. It's just like, ooh, this is nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too old for this, mate.
Yeah.
Come on.
And some.
My brother's blaming the daycare. Oh, they just won't teach him. Well, maybe you could do something about
could
that.
step in and.
Anyway,
He leads. Oh my! You want me to?
hi, Scott. Thanks for watching.
Avid fan, Scott. Hey, I don't have a hat on.
Whoa!
What? Well, I feel naked.
I can either take my hat off or you can go find a hat.
Okay, I'll go hatless. I don't mind. You can do what you choose to do.
Okay.
When
When people watch my 2 cents on tour, I made a little plug. People are always like, "Oh my god, he's got
you
hair."
got to plug straight off the bat.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. It was unplanned.
Unplanned plug.
Yeah.
All right, well, there it is.
Just
Look at
because
that.
I'm not wearing a hat in all of those
When's
videos.
the next?
This Thursday
Oh, I'm looking forward to
or
it.
Friday.
The last
See how
one
we
was
go.
great.
You liked it?
Yeah, I liked the strange bike ride you went on.
Yeah, people genuinely found that. Like, people were like, what with Douglas, I think, was like, I could see Tony doing that. Like, following some random
I could see
lady,
me
like,
doing
following the chaos.
Yeah.
But they're like, you're more of a, like, I think I said, like, I'm more of like a rule follower.
Yeah.
And Douglas was like, that's what made it interesting. Like, just seeing you take a step outside your comfort zone.
There was a point where you were just like, I'm going to die. yeah, it was good. It was good. But here we are, Mark. It's the final week of 2CGD for 2023. Or 2C, what is 2CGD?
Yeah.
2C
We're going to take a wee hiatus.
Take a little 6 Nations-ish?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Sometime next year.
Sometime next year we'll come back and start talking about rugby and drinking beers again. Because
Yeah.
I know you can't live without us.
The World Cup's done.
But it's a glitzy affair tonight.
We've got some awards to give out.
This is the real pinnacle of the sport, really.
Like, I know the World Rugby's done their awards, but everyone knows those are a complete sham.
It's
Those are chosen by a stupid committee of like
That's
5
right.
former internationals.
exactly.
This is chosen by 2 dudes in West Auckland.
That's right, and a panel of ladies for one.
Oh
of the,
yes, for one of the awards. There's a panel.
on a WhatsApp group called Scrabble Peeps.
There you go.
They decide one of the awards, but this is what they're all fighting for: the 2CGD, the illustrious, the glorious 2CGD.
Thank you for those people who commented on last week's post for some nominations.
Yeah, we do appreciate those. But would you like to describe this for the people listening? This wonderful
If
statue
you're
we
listening on
have.
Spotify or Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts, we are holding the illustrious 2CGD
Yeah,
award.
that's
Now,
right.
imagine an Oscar from the films.
This is up there with the Qatar Airlines Cup, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Imagine smaller than an Oscar, kind of bending over a wee bit and on a wooden platform. That's
Look at-
the 2CGD.
See, I think, in all seriousness, it was.
a diving
It's
award.
something about dive, but if you just use a little bit of your imagination, looks like a man in speedos just about to plop down on the porcelain throne.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
Exactly.
We all enjoy that. There's nothing more satisfying.
And it's not only our illustrious award; it's also for those keen observers. It sits here throughout. I think there was one episode we forgot to put it there, maybe, but it's
To which
there
you
and-
were gutted.
It really was. I'm still not over
Paid
it.
$14 for that.
Yeah,
thing.
no, I really get. So every week it's there. So that is the 2CGD, and we're going to be giving out some great awards.
That's not a nice beer.
I like it.
No,
You
Jesus.
don't like it.
That's worse than the freaking, what was that bad one we had? The,
What don't you like about it? It's
bland.
another Australian beer.
oh, it's like that Great Northern. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
blandy, but bland,
this
bland.
is better beer. Which you have
worse beer.
Worse beer. I like it. It's not bad. It's made by those. I find it quite citrusy.
It is
and
a
like
bit citrusy.
it's quite refreshing.
I wouldn't go that far.
Good summer beer.
Okay.
All right. We disagree. This is the most controversial beer discussion we've ever had.
Disagreements are
usually
rife.
on the Great Northern. We were both like, this
This is a bit average.
this is a bowl of balls. But no, I don't mind this. I was planning on buying more boxes of this. So next,
You can buy them because I won't be here.
no, but next year when you turn up in these beers,
Oh,
you'll be like,
God.
oh, these damn,
I'll bring my own.
these beers are awful.
Before
yes.
we get to these illustrious awards,
Some rugby stuff
there
happened.
was some rugby stuff happening.
And one, there was a bit of rhyming, a bit of synchronicity that happened between last year's award show and this year's award show, being tonight. Last year's award show, we were like flatlined almost like the day of that Wayne Pivac
Yeah.
and Eddie Jones had been given the flick. Now, Wayne Pivac, I have no idea what that man's up to, but Eddie Jones, we have to talk about him leaving another gig.
Yeah, he's resigned
Yeah,
from the close to the Wallabies.
for some people to eat caviar, sometimes you got to eat shit. But with Eddie Jones, everyone in Australian rugby got to eat a huge amount of shit, and he's
Yeah.
leaving a huge amount of shit. And even there was nothing gracious about his departure. Like saying a couple of weeks before, like, nah, totally committed. Like had a press
Weirdly
conference.
enough, there's been two sides to the story, and it kind of depends on which side you believe. The one side is like Eddie's just gone and caused a bunch of shit, and now he's like, fuck this, and I'm off.
Yeah.
And probably to Japan.
Yes.
And the other side is Rugby Australia have realised the bed that they have made for themselves. They want out of this, much like a bit of regret, buyer's remorse, and
Dragged you right in.
I was going to go with something a little bit more risque there, but yeah, buyer's remorse, and
Yeah.
they are kind of forcing him out, and he is being the bigger man by taking the resignation rather than asking for a payout.
Oh, so this is his. This is the one honourable thing that he's doing.
Yeah, by not
potentially.
taking the money.
Right.
If he ends up with Japan, though, I'm just like,
Can-
yeah, nah.
Yeah, but the fact that like that was so well sourced, the whole chat with Japan, and
Yeah.
he was just being, rather than just being like, yeah, well, look, I'm an international rugby coach. We have conversations. I've got a relationship with Japan. You know, like a players talk to other franchises.
Yeah.
It's no different with us. We, you know, at the end of the day, this is a professional thing. He could have gone with that. He would have got a bunch of flack about it. But this whole, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. Like that.
Just
Didn't-
bullshit.
Absolute bullshit. And
Yeah.
now he's just, he's got a massive problem with integrity. So he,
That's the thing. He just seems like a bit of a weasel.
yeah, looks a bit like one too.
Yeah.
Weasley guy, but entertaining.
Yeah.
Bloody entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens in the next great saga. If he's a bit like a cockroach, he'll find a way to come back somehow.
Surely it's going to be him with Japan.
You reckon? Not Fozzie in Japan?
Yeah, man, he might go to a club side. I'm not sure. A lot of people are going to Japan, like New Zealanders.
Who's your next Australian coach?
I mean, if they keep it within like the realms
Do
of
they need an Aussie?
getting an Aussie, you're looking at the likes of Larkham, who's been coaching the Brumbies. I never used to think like he's a great player. I've always thought he's a pretty bang average coach because when he first coached the Brumbies, geez, they were pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah.
And then he went to Munster as their attack coach, and guess what? Their attack was pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But I actually thought last season the Brumbies looked, the season just gone, looked all right now that he returned. So maybe it's just like anything, like the more practice you get at it, the better you get at it. Or Andy Friend is an Aussie guy who's been coaching Connacht for a few years. He recently left Connacht. Oh, is he also in the conversation?
Yeah, but he's just leaving somewhere, isn't he? I'm putting him in the conversation.
I think he's been director of rugby with Ireland.
Yes, but I think he's leaving, isn't he?
Right. Maybe he'll come back and do something like that.
Checker?
Oh, yeah, Czech is the other. I think that'd be a step backwards.
Yeah, but
That'd be like getting back with your ex.
Yeah, and they've done that with. It's like going to Eddie 2.0, basically.
Yeah.
You know, like big talk and,
Yeah.
maybe get a bit of hype, do a couple of good ads for you, but may or may not deliver on the outcomes. But would be really salty in the press conferences, which would be entertaining for the rest of us. Or, all very, very happy. Not to say they would definitely lose. But yeah, an absolute, the worst year in Australian rugby that I can possibly remember.
Out in the pools.
Out in the polls, yeah. First time ever for them. That's the first time ever. Eh?
Yep. Not great.
Bugger, if you're an Australian. What else? What other rugby news do we need to cover before we
Can
launch into
I ask you?
Sure.
And I didn't pre-warn you this question was
Yes.
coming, but Now that the World Cup's done,
Yes,
the kind of tensions have settled.
they have settled.
What's your overall feeling about the World Cup? Was it a banger? Was it a cracker? Was it average?
I don't know. It's too.
Or is it still too early to say?
It's still so like fresh.
fresh?
Like just in terms of like, I'm definitely not like throughout this week. It's still just been plugging around in my head like the one or two moments that just didn't go our way and still very much in that. Like definitely not like not at the same level. We were pretty and not foul moods, but just despondent.
Not fun to be around.
Yeah, despondent.
Anybody who listened to last week, well done.
Thank you very much.
Because that must have been a pretty miserable listen.
Despondent sort of listen. And
I think some of the South African fans,
just a bit
who
of
aren't
like,
the biggest Tony fans, quite enjoyed seeing you miserable.
Yeah, it was like sort
bit
of
of
like,
Schadenfreude.
It was like just like.
I get that. It's like you when you go back to look up SA Rugby Mag after they've just been proven dead wrong. You're like, yeah.
But I don't have anything against the South African rugby team.
I know. Well, the South African fans don't have anything against the All Blacks. Some of them just don't like you.
Yeah, well, I don't like some of them. Because I got it. This all started when I started saying outwardly that Rassie Erasmus gets on my tits.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm sure he probably wouldn't like me much either.
Probably not.
Yeah. Anywho,
People are interesting.
People are interesting. I wanted to go into that "People Are Strange When You're a Stranger" song by The Doors, but it's hard to do with the word "interesting." What was your question? Was it a banger? Yeah, look, I think the French they held a great tournament. The pools, a lack of upsets, which was a little bit disappointing for the most part. Maybe the most incredible weekend of rugby. The quarterfinal weekend that I've ever witnessed. I thought the semi-finals, the England and South Africa game was entertaining, high drama. Well, not entertaining, high drama, tense, but like not a game that I want to watch the Crusaders and the Chiefs play.
Right.
Like any other competition playing that game, I'd be like, this. Oh God, I can't watch this. And the final. Like in terms of like a World Cup final, the tension and the fact that it had those right ingredients, but just so much TMO intervention. And if the game goes in that direction, it's going to be so hard to be a fan. Like it was painful. It would be a painful game to watch.
If you were going to go back and watch, 2011 final or 2015 final, just for like you want to sit down and have
2015
you're going to watch that final, right?
100%.
I feel like it's the same with this. Like if a South African fan's going to go back and watch a final, they're probably going to go to watch the England 32-12 game.
Yeah.
There's probably a bit more just pure entertainment.
Yeah.
When you know the result, when there's no tension, you're not on the edge of the seat. If you know it's going to be...
But I thought this one was just like... Wayne Barnes is a fantastic referee, and I've got no qualms about any of the decisions that were made. Well, one qualm. But I totally accept that mistakes happen, and players make mistakes, referees make mistakes. It's all good. The All Blacks had plenty of opportunities to win the game. The South Africans took theirs. They deserve to win. So I feel like I'm putting a disclaimer at the bottom of it, like you do on, dick pills. This may make you blind.
Worth it.
But I just that the involvement of the TMO, the going back and watching. I was watching a referee. I was watching a screen with a referee watching a screen with someone in a bunker watching a screen.
Right.
And I was like,
what am I watching?
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because...
and Wayne Barnes wasn't the main referee.
Yeah, that's right. There's been a lot of outcry about that here at NZ. Too much for my liking. I know my mum and dad came to see me on Friday, which was almost a full week after the World Cup.
Yeah.
And they said on the drive over, they switched the radio to music because they was like, Jesus, they're still going on about the freaking ref. Yeah, right. Yeah. The reaction has been poor.
A lot of people want to vent. Yeah.
I suppose that's part of it. But I would like to go back. Not that I'm going to because I'm lazy, but it'd be cool to go back and look at all the Rugby World Cup games and see the average number of TMO involvements because I feel like some of the games were fine.
Yeah, they were.
I feel like the semis.
The quarters,
weren't the quarters not too bad?
No, and then why was it the bloody
final?
The guy, what made me the TMO decided to wear a suit. Yeah. TMO, the classy costumes and outfits that were reserved for glamorous evenings.
Yeah,
like
save it
tonight.
for the awards night.
For the 2C GDs.
Not when
but
you're doing your job.
Not when you're on the job, buddy. I'd prefer you in stubbies and a blimmin' singlet.
Yeah. But I'd be interested to see if that was the highest tier mode game, or if there was another one in the pools. That
I
topped
would
it.
be surprised
I feel like
if it
it'd be at
wasn't.
the high. I feel like it'd be at the higher end because there was a fair bit of TMO.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting as well to measure TMO interventions by TMO because Fozzie's was like, oh, we knew that TMO was going to be really like active kind of thing.
And to be fair, like I'm not saying that the TMO was all anti the All Blacks. There were little knock-ons here and there, and little taps off who went off into touch and stuff.
Just less TMO.
Just less TMO. Just let the referee run the bloody
game. I got distracted. Nigel Owens, who's a good, exactly. Nigel Owens is an interesting one because he's got any skin in the game.
Yeah,
but he was like, he had some article in Wales Online basically saying that. Yeah, he thinks that you need to let an international referee the game.
And you're letting a guy who's not an international referee make the biggest call in the game.
Exactly.
And like there is like I at the time when I saw that red card from Sam Cane, I was like, oh, it's a blown red card.
Yeah.
And I was like, shit. But then you actually see the wide shot, and the guy sort of what's the name of the guy who got hit? Creel. He's running up, and then he steps last minute and stops, and then it's just a terrible collision. I'm not surprised it went to a red card, but I wouldn't be surprised if it got mitigated in that situation.
I was hoping they would find it's a final, let's not red card it mitigation.
Like every other sport that knows how to entertain people. You know, hockey, league, all those guys. And I'm glad that the Sia Khaleesi one wasn't a red card either, you know? Anyway, it's what it is.
That rabbit hole was unplanned.
Sorry, we get back to the 2CGDs. So...
Before
was
we
there
get
any
to
other what was the
did
news?
you watch any rugby? Can you bring yourself to watch any rugby? Because there was women's rugby. The Black Ferns played. And there was the URC, the Premiership Top 14.
I was watching the league at the time.
Oh, yeah.
We won.
Okay.
Greatest ever victory over the Kangaroos, 30-0. And then
nice.
Also the ICC cricket was on.
And we lost. We got hammered by this. And then we lost.
And we lost by the Duckworth-Lewis system.
Damn you, Duckworth.
And Lewis, you're in it too. Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I watched. It was a lovely afternoon watching that. Love.
So are we out of the cricket?
No, we got to beat Sri Lanka, and we need Pakistan to lose to somebody else.
Got a mathematical chance.
Yeah.
The Black Ferns lost to England. Really heavy defeat.
And I was keeping up on that with
England again with the forwards. They scored one nice one, but mostly, like when I say nice, I'm just being attractive. Like England played that same game they played last year.
I was interested in that. I would have watched it if the league and stuff wasn't on.
Yeah. There was a bit of criticism about why are there no fans at this game because it was really poorly attended. But it's like end of the rugby season, Rugby World Cup's just over. People have had 9 months straight of rugby.
Yeah.
The Rugby League was on, internationals for the first time. The Cricket World Cup's on. There's a sugar load of sport on.
Yeah.
And like as I said, the Rugby World Cup just finished, so a lot of
people are like,
they finished on a miserable note. So people are just kind of like, I've had enough of this shit.
In terms of the saltiness factor again, like I go see a lot of people for my jobs, for my job, and then like a lot of them are rugby fans, and they're like, a lot of them are not even like gutted about the referee and stuff. They're just gutted because they're like, what's happened to rugby? Like people who haven't watched every game are like, it's a World Cup final. He actually got up for it, got into it, and we're like, what has happened to rugby?
I can give you two.
Like what
examples.
Is the sport now?
I got a message from my Filipino boss who literally probably only watched that final. She was kind of like, there's so much referee in this game.
Yeah.
Like I doubt. I know she went to the All Blacks a couple of years ago to see them live. I don't think she would have seen a game between then and this final.
So
that was her reaction. That's the ultimate casual fan. I was just like, what have I just watched?
Yeah.
And one of my patrons is an American guy, and he was just like, if you're trying to sell the sport to Americans with that final, like, nah, you didn't do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's low scoring. It's normal for a final. He's like, I'm not talking about the score. Like, low scoring is fine.
My cousin, I
feel like I'm not trying to be a whinger either.
No,
I was actually sick of the whinging.
I think it's a big... I'm not whinging about the referee, the result, or anything like that. I'm just the way it was, just the feel of the game. It wasn't the rugby that we know. Like, my cousin, who's very much a fair weather rugby fan, but said... Like during the final, he was up into it. He
Yeah.
was off his couch. He was screaming at the TV. He was like, "This
Yeah.
is it." And then once Aaron Smith scored, and then they went back a couple of phases and found the knock on, he just gave up on the game. He was like, "This game's stupid now."
Right.
Like, and he said after that moment, all the emotion was just depleted from the
Right.
game, and he was just like, "Ah."
Okay. Bit of a
Yeah, it
dab
was,
squib.
yeah. Just and he just was like, "Man, we lost. Who gives a shit?" Like
Right.
the game is munted.
Right.
And yeah,
Would all that be there if we'd won?
he said it would be. He said he didn't give a shit after that point. Like from being super into it to being like, what is this? Like I think there would still be a little bit of that. Like it was even like in the 2011 World Cup, though we won it for the first time in 24 years. We weren't satisfied after that game. Like we were like wildly relieved.
Relieved. That was the only emotion. For
Relieved was the only emotion from. I was out in town and like people just couldn't even muster to like get celebrating. It was just like, thank
Yeah.
God we did that. But
That's an
boy,
interesting
that's
one
not all
because
about rugby.
the rest of the world was really not happy with that game. They were like, Jesus, the ref just gave that game to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Which we were pretty oblivious to here in New Zealand. We were just like, oh, thank God we won.
Was it Alan Roland?
No,
or
it
who
was the South African guy.
Oh.
Yeah, not Kaplan. The other one, the tall guy, the lanky guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you win, you don't care if the game was crap.
Yeah, I felt I was really happy and
I don't think
relieved that
crap.
we won
Like,
that.
I enjoyed it.
I would have
But
been
I'm not. I always have to take myself out of the equation because I am not the target audience. I can watch one.
You're not the
that's-
casual.
That's right. The feedback I'm getting is from the ultimate casual fans, people who haven't contacted me in years are literally like, oh, he's into his rugby. I'll send him a message. Jeez, that ref was shit. Like, that's like the fan that's you probably
So I
wanting
got
to
to text
entertain.
another friend like that, just going, so Fozzie sucks again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, he doesn't. But yeah, it was sad. The boys are back in the country now. I haven't brought myself to watch any.
The South African celebrations have been insane.
I have just
It actually,
like strictly.
you watch that and you can't help but feel good. Seeing like all the street celebrations, all these people like celebrating with the players, it's genuinely pretty cool.
School just released like a 42-minute epic about it today as well, which I can't bring
I
myself
haven't
to
seen
watch.
that.
It's kind of like imagine your ex that you're fully in love with, and found the love of her life, and they had this wild romance. That was
You're looking at their honeymoon pictures on Facebook going,
hugely
wow, that's a nice holiday.
Hugely,
Look, that guy's really handsome.
No, because more that it's like hugely romantic love story, like star-crossed lovers that had, and then people make all this media about it and stuff, and everyone's like, "Isn't this the most heartwarming, beautiful love story of all time?" But you're just like, yeah, that's how I kind of feel about like the happy South African media. Like, and like, fair credit to them.
I was like to see people happy. Yeah, people are happy.
People are shiny, happy people. Yeah, well done. And it does mean so much to them. I saw one thing I did see. I saw some little kid give
Eben
a
Smith,
massive hug, and I thought that was
warm
sweet.
fuzzies,
and I was like,
yeah.
okay, that's nice.
Really warm
Fine,
fuzzies.
take that.
Australia
Yes,
and the women's rugby, if I can get back to that for just a second, they've beaten France
they beat France
a couple of weeks ago, which is random because they don't beat France. France beat us. I think France changed their team
and
up.
we always beat Australia.
Yeah, exactly. And then they beat Wales
Wales.
after they had a red card. And at one point they were down to 13 players. They scored with 13 against 15. Women's rugby, honestly, if you haven't tried it, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That game, like Wales were dead and buried despite having an extra player. They came back and had a maul to win it at the death, but they were held up. It was honestly
and
nuts.
they just got some mad big unit, just go bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
I saw
Women's
that try.
rugby is really fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't watch any of it this
Yeah,
weekend.
people don't. It was not been marketed at all. It was in Auckland, and there was how much marketing? How many ads did you see for it?
My main source of marketing for the women's 15, whatever it was, women's 15-1.
Yeah, I don't even. I've got WX1 written down. I don't think that's right. It's a crap name.
Yeah, whatever it is. My main source of marketing is following Alice Soper's Twitter account.
feed, yeah.
That's how I was following the score. Wasn't the Black Ferns account. It was her going, oh, they got to try. They got to try. Well, I was watching the league and we won 30-0. Best victory ever over Australia.
I figured my son is also a jinx, by the way, because I was taking some time out from rugby. I was watching some NHL. My team, the Islanders, are playing. They're up 3-0. And then they're up 3-1, and there's only 8 minutes left. And he's like, so there's only 8 minutes left. And
Your team will
they're
win.
2 goals behind, so
Yeah.
they're definitely going to win. I was like, there's still time, son. And they freaking lost. They fucking lost.
Eat a bag.
He knows what a jinx is, little turd.
Oh, well.
Yeah, you're right, son.
What else we got to cover?
I looked some URC. I've been really... I watched one of the games. I was going to watch some more, but my son spewed up everywhere all over the weekend. So, yeah, he spewed all over his bed.
When do the South African boys get back into the teams?
Yeah, they need them back because the Lions are winless. They're none from 3. The Sharks are winless, none from 3.
Oh,
The Stormers were 2-0, but they lost their most recent game, which I did watch. They were rubbish.
really?
They played really bad up in Scotland.
So they need them back.
And the
Whereas, well, it's a good thing about the Irish and the Scottish teams.
They've already got their players back.
Their players got back ages ago, and I don't think. Imagine it'd be hard to get yourself up for the URC now, wouldn't it?
Oh, well.
Because you've been on the lash for the last week, having massive. They'd be smashing a few beers,
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
they?
would be.
So
Lee
then-
Halfpenny's joining the Crusaders.
Yeah,
That's unexpected.
and it was weird. The Welsh today, not the Welsh, the
The Crusaders Facebook
did a
page.
post in Welsh,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool to see.
Very nice.
Cymru on Beath. Cymru, you know what Cymru is, don't you?
Wales.
That's it. That's best thing. Cymru on Beath is
Yeah, I don't think I know any
Wales
Welsh,
for-
apart from that phrase.
Llanelli.
That's a place name.
So yeah, and when you LLs, make this sound.
Okay.
So you know people say Llanelli. That's wrong. It's Llanelli.
Okay.
Try and say it.
No.
Wow.
I'll do some Chinese for you if you want.
Okay, let's go tit for tat. I've only got one word.
Okay.
So it's a complicated Chinese place name.
Complicated Chinese place name. Chinese place names are always really short. That is 2 syllables.
Oh really?
Yeah, always 2 syllables.
Like Xinjiang.
I mean, Chongqing, maybe. Yeah. That's the closest I can think
Yeah,
of.
exactly. So I was just wondering why I was so close.
Oh, God.
Oh god, I'm gonna get cancelled.
Yeah, you're going to get cancelled.
Well, I was just trying to make Chinese sounds, and it
Yeah.
came out that way.
Yeah.
Can you tell me another one?
A Chinese place name.
Yeah.
What's the Chinese president's name?
Xiaoling something or other. Isn't that the guy?
His first name is, or his surname actually, because they do the names the other way, is XI.
Is that yeah? Zhao
It's just she.
Xi.
Yeah, X in Chinese is like a sh.
Sure.
So she, XI, she.
And when you like say yeah, you're like sha.
she.
All right, should we get into these bloody awards?
We should.
All right, it's the 2CGDs, everybody. This is what you're here for.
First category.
A lot of it. I've put out a lot of invites, so hopefully we get some attendance. But no one's turned up so far.
So we're waiting for the bell to ring.
Waiting for the bell to ring, but we'll see who turns up. But
First category we've got
yes,
is for the best shit team,
best shit team,
which may sound like an insult,
but it's not.
but it's not. It's a team which, like, you're probably not one of the favourites to win the World
You
Cup.
overachieved from where you were meant
Basically.
to be.
You're a team that's not supposed to do well.
Last year's winner of this is the second annual 2CGDs, everybody.
Not all the categories are the same.
Yeah.
Some of them overlap.
Some of them overlap. But last year's winner was Australia because they were losing, but they were just losing.
Under Dave Rennie, they were losing to France by like a point or
we
two.
felt
Ireland.
like they were going in the right direction.
Yeah,
didn't we?
they were just that
so
that far
close to
away.
France, so close to Ireland.
So
who we got?
Australia's not a nominee this year for best shit team because they're just a shit team.
Just not even good.
Yeah.
Just shit.
They're just shit. So we've got Portugal, who had a heck of a run at the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
We've got England, who also overachieved by coming within a point of making the final.
Yes,
2 points if they
that
were
is
going to
a
win it.
big overachievement.
Wales, who were in a shambles and had players retiring left, right, and centre just before the World Cup, and ended up making a top of their pool quarter final. And then Fiji, who you could argue are a good team that we're now at their appropriate stage, or a team which traditionally you expect.
I think it's a good result for Fiji.
good result for Fiji to get to the quarters.
Get to the quarters. They're not a shit team, but
There you go. So we'll get you to read the.
who are the
winner.
the winner of the 2CGD for best shit team is the people's favourite, I think, Portugal. Yeah,
Portugal.
the Portugal entire rugby team. We invited all of them. Can't be with us tonight. It's a long flight, but accepting on their behalf
Here's the
is
2CGD.
Mark Morgan.
This is the This is the one, the specific one for
For
best
them,
shit
we'll send them out
Send
to
this
them.
out, and I'll get the next one from.
So Mark Morgan's accepting that on behalf of Mark Morgan from 2 Cents Rugby.
Right.
Also a co-host from 2 Cents Gets Distracted.
All right, thank you.
There we go. Brilliant.
Right.
Well, there we
done,
go. We're
Portugal.
underway. What's the next category, big
Next
fella?
category we've got is the best old dog. So one of our veterans,
Yeah.
who still put those youngsters in their place.
That's right.
We've got from New Zealand, Sam Whitelock,
Captain Caveman.
who's 35 years old but looks 45 with that big old beard of his.
Yeah, he's got more salt and pepper, and I'm older than he is. But
Right.
he's got more salt and pepper in his beard than I do. I've got a little bit of salt and pepper coming through here.
That's
So
right.
look at me, I don't have a hat on.
Exactly.
I've got hair, some,
Why do I grow brown hair on my head but black hair on my face? It's weird.
and your pubes are fucking ginger.
Ginger, I know. How does that work?
So like fiery
know.
ginger, like Fanta pants. It's
So
very
bizarre.
odd, very odd.
Johnny Sexton from Ireland
Mm-hmm.
didn't go out in the way that he would have wanted, but he certainly.
But he went out doing the thing he loves,
some
slagging
guys some
somebody,
assholes.
slagging
Yep.
someone.
Dwayne Vermeulen from South Africa, who had the perfect send off,
Oh yes, yes.
and then Aaron Smith from New Zealand, who didn't quite get there, but
Dwayne Vermeulen's just a beast, isn't he?
yes, but he's not the beast.
All right,
And
and
the
the,
two
winner
CGD.
is it's got to be the small man who revolutionized.
Revolutionized.
Yeah, I put an extra L in there because he's so special. It's a man who got himself into trouble in a toilet once, but has the best pass the world has ever seen. It's got to be Nuggy Aaron Smith.
Well done, Aaron.
Aaron Smith, still mourning the loss of the Rugby World Cup. He was a maybe.
Right.
For a long period of
Tentative.
time, but I just got a text saying he can't make it.
Right.
So
We'll
accepting
get this
on
out
his,
to you, Aaron.
accepting on his behalf is Mark Morgan from 2 Cents Rugby,
There you
also
go.
the co-host of 2 Cents Gets
There you
Distracted.
go. There you go, Aaron. It's 2CGD. You'll be
What
on
a
your way.
Sam. Well, all these players.
They all finished the tournament.
Yeah, these are some
showing
great
why
players,
they're world-class
eh?
players. That's right.
Dwayne Vermeulen, Johnny Sexton. He did deserve better, didn't he?
Deserved a better send off of that for sure.
But I'm gonna miss all of those guys, especially as a Kiwi, not seeing Sam Whitelock and Aaron Smith, and like they were just for so long, even though
Stalwarts.
just the very very tail end of Sam Whitelock's career, he started coming off the bench, very
Yeah.
pinch of the tail.
Yep.
But other than that, it was just an immediate
Him and Brody for ages.
yeah.
Even before
And Brody's gone skis as
Brody
well.
does that.
So Stan Coles. There you go.
There's been a few veterans who have decided to hang up the boots, or at least internationally. Right, it's another award.
We salute you all.
This time, it's another award with shit in the title.
There's a few of those.
But this one is called Shit, He's Good.
Shit, or like so. The idea is like you're on the couch and you see a player you've never really seen him before, and he's done a few bloody good things, and you think to yourself, turn to the guy next to him and you go,
Shit, he's pretty good.
"Oh, shit, he's good, isn't he?"
Yeah, exactly.
Some might say, "Fuck, he's good."
If you were going to go that level. This is on your channel, so it can be fucking good.
It's shit, he's good. Okay.
Yes. From France, the youngster who displaced Gabin Villiers on their left wing, Louis Biel-Biarré, missed the under-20s to train with the senior squad, basically.
and that was a hell of an under-20 squad as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. How do you
So
think he's feeling about that? Is he happy that he got a chance to go to a quarterfinal, or would he rather picked up that trophy with the under-20s?
I'm sure he had a little bit of FOMO not being with his mates, but I think that experience will hold him in good stead. A big learning experience, and yeah, you got to
Some of
make
those
you got to
under-20
make make hay when you're young on the wing, don't you? A lot
That's
of the
right.
time. So, but he's got a good 5 years, 6 years of like top level pace. So
That's right.
he could be an absolute world better.
Another paceman and one of your favourites, South
Yep.
African Kanan Moody, outside back and midfielder.
I've been banging his chain for 18 months.
You've been jacking him off.
I was jacking that fella's big sausage, his Venus Schnitzel, for way before anybody even realised he had a Venus Schnitzel. How did this turn into getting so sexual? Sorry, Dwayne. Sorry, Kanan, if you're watching this. Promise I won't do that to you in person. Oh, jeez. Oh.
Haven't poured my drink yet.
Okay, sorry, we got ourselves a little bit confused there.
Kanan Moody.
I like Kanan Moody.
Okay.
I think he's a little bit underutilized for his skill level. I'd like to see him play in the All Blacks. Do you think he's ready to switch? We could use him.
Maybe. Welshman and captain of the squad, Jack Morgan.
Hell of a player. World class. Just one of those players.
He's been in the squad for a wee while, but not like that.
He gives me Richie McCaw vibes.
Right.
You know, just like, follow me, lads. I got this.
He's got a very all-round skill set as well. He even kicks the ball every now and again. Cheers, bud.
Cheers. And that was right. And he had that crucial moment against the Australians where with the commentary they were down by 6 points or something like that. Australia gets a penalty. They get a 5-minute line out. I can't remember if it was on commentary. Some Australian form, but maybe Tim Horan going, "This is the moment."
I remember that moment. I remember you loving that moment.
If I don't love it,
because the commentary reaction was gold.
Yeah, he's like, "This is the moment the Australian forwards have to show us what they've got," and then they completely flub it like it's like a comedy skit where half of them fall over and it's just ridiculous. It goes over the back to Jack, just going bang, and then he just punts
boots the leather of it.
It like runs up to the 22, completely unopposed, and then boots a 50-22. It's like, and then there was just like this weird
silence,
like. And then, what's his name? The commentator,
Justin Harrison.
No, the main.
Sean Maloney.
Sean Maloney just went.
What happened?
What just happened?
Yeah, that might
Sorry,
have been
Australia.
over to ITV because they were just too sad.
It was very
and also
funny.
Mark Tillier, the tackling machine, the slippery eel, the beast that is, the breakthrough player of the year from World Rugby.
Just imagine him and Kane working together.
Exactly.
There we go.
There you go. Shit, he's good.
Shit, he's good. And the winner goes to, who is it? Have we got here? Oh, and I think this is a good selection. Not from a team that went past the quarters. So it's not an Irishman. It could be an Irishman, but the Irishman wasn't nominated. Jack Morgan, a player that you think they could build a team around for the future. He's a world class. Any team. Oh,
there's fireworks and celebration. Good on you, Jack.
Yes. The Welsh fans out there really going to get into it.
Watching this live, despite the fact that it's being pre-recorded.
I think that I'm putting it down now. He'll be remembered as a more significant captain than Sam Warburton.
Yowza.
Yeah, that's my call.
Shipping to UK, will let you
Jack was unable to make it here tonight, so accepting on his behalf.
He's got URC duties, I guess.
It's Mark Morgan from Two Cents Rugby, also the one of the co-hosts of Two Cents Gets Distracted. It's a rugby podcast.
Right. Our next award.
What is the next award,
One of my personal favourites.
Yes, let's hear it.
Often overlooked in the rugby awards schemes, but the best big unit.
Big
I love my big units.
He does.
Because all the awards go to these namby-pamby backs and kicking the goals. And they're most the loose forward, like Artie Savia.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he gets player of the year and he makes some
Oxen
tackles
Shea
and
got a
turnovers.
lot of love this year.
Got a lot of love. Didn't
For
get any
one game.
nominations.
Yeah.
Nominations.
What was your... I got a question for you after we finish the awards, about the other awards.
Okay.
4
nominees, 3 of them are New Zealanders.
Yes.
But from France, still will claim him. Uini Antonio, the big tie head prop from France. Wesley College.
Pukekohe's finest.
Not a New Zealander. You just mentioned him, the big Oxen Che from South Africa. Loves his cake.
I don't think he went to Rosehill College.
No.
You could have fit. He would have fit in there.
Tamaiti Williams, who I believe spent part of his life growing up in Western Australia.
Yeah, Perth. He was born in Northland. Spent his very young childhood in Northland, but then spent 13 years
over in Western Australia.
Perth. And he loves it. He thinks that is a home.
Really?
Could have been a Wallaby.
Could have been a Wallaby, but he's in all black.
Yeah.
And then from Tonga, and also from, I think, Otahuhu, there's old Big Ben Tamiafuna from Tonga.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, Tammy Williams is a...
He's from the North Island.
Yeah, okay, we'll take him.
Those are your 4 big units. So we like our props.
Yeah.
Props need love.
Well, that's a passion project for you, really.
Indeed.
Prop Love.
Prop Love.
So this one's sponsored by 2 Cents Rugby, the major ambassador for Prop Love, which is also, you can find that on Pornhub. It's basically, by the way, it's not what you think. It's Mark actually just holding up photos of props and jacking off and filming himself. It's a weird niche.
It's one of those times where your brain thinks something and your mouth just goes, all right, I'll just say that.
Yeah, well, look, some people are into it. So, watching other people jack off, that's their thing. And the winner of...
What's that comedian? Louis C.K.
Yeah, that was his thing, jacking off in front of other people.
With props or no? Maybe like physical props, but not rugby props.
It was usually with like lesser known female comedians who felt like they couldn't escape that environment, but they agreed to. He asked them each time.
Right.
A tough situation.
You're
That one.
defending, you're going to get cancelled double down.
I did the old Asian thing. It's
Yeah, exactly.
God,
Goodness
I'm
gracious.
screwed. Anyway,
Wait, 5 minutes and Tony's going to be racist and anti-LGBT.
How am I LGBT? I didn't say
I
anything.
said you're going to be.
Oh, right, okay. Let's
Give it time. You'll get there.
All right. I haven't done it all yet. Have I done it this year?
Probably.
Could have. Who knows? Anyway, the winner of the best big unit is Ben Tamiafuna.
Well done, Ben.
Ben may be somewhere in Auckland, so I'm a little bit disappointed he didn't
I
actually.
think he's got duties in France.
Oh, okay, right.
Top 14's already
Yeah,
underway.
okay, sorry. Well, he's not. That's a good excuse because when he did say it was a maybe, I thought he could.
Cheers, Ben.
So Ben Tamiafuna, as I said, is unable to
We
make it.
might send this to Otahu just to save on the shipping, and then you can pick it up when you're next back in town.
Like your mum or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But accepting on his behalf is Mark Morgan from 2 Cents Rugby, one of the hosts of 2 Cents Gets Distracted.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
A rugby podcast. Beautiful.
Next award. The Salt Bay Award for extra saltiness.
All right, yeah. So what's the criteria of this one? Saltiest fans or saltiest
It can
person?
be anybody who has just been particularly salty.
Yeah, but a little bit arrogant.
Number one, first nominees is New Zealand fans for their performance in the not just fans, but also rugby media, in the post-Rugby World Cup final week. Constant
From
rugby pundit bitching and moaning and talkback radio and social media, all things under the sun about
sadness.
sadness and moaning and complaining.
Yeah.
Not since 2007 against France have I seen New Zealand go quite that bitchy and moany.
Yes. I would agree with you. But let's go through the other categories.
Number two, France for their performance.
And
this is the fans post, and probably the pundits as well, but we don't speak French
Yeah,
and watching
but
them
yeah,
post
but
the quarterfinal exit.
They were like headlines
to the
of
South
like
Africans. Ben
like
O'Keefe
Ben
getting
O'Keefe.
like death threats.
Yeah, he
and
got all sorts of things, and even like I was about to say Dusatois, sorry, Antoine Dupont just saying, I don't think he was up to this level.
yeah, Antoine
Like,
Dupont in the post-match just having an absolute whinge.
Yeah, total whinge.
Third is the neutral fans, I think mostly, on behalf of Fiji, anytime they lost to a team from the UK, when they went out to England in the quarterfinals, and when they lost to Wales.
I'm sure with neutral fans, I'm sure some Fiji.
Probably some Fijians as well, but generally people who like Fiji were very unhappy with their losses to Wales and England. Pretty salty. They weren't really that unhappy when Portugal beat them.
Even though I felt that, like, it was that last call, and just because the Fijians on the field were unhappy with the decision, I was like, surely they've got a point. And I don't remember.
My dad likes doing that.
Yeah.
Like he'll look at the reaction of a player. And
He
he'll be like,
knows-
"Oh, that guy's been a player for 10 years. He knows when a call's wrong." I was like, he plays for that team. Of course he doesn't want that call.
He's so wildly biased. He could not be more biased.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
plays.
He literally plays for that team.
Yeah. If he knocked a ball on and didn't get caught, he's not going to be like, sorry, ref.
Yeah, I'd actually knocked that one on.
I should save us a lot of time. It's going to get called back
And
in 15 phases.
fourth is Michael Cheika for his performance.
Singular performances.
Several performances, but mostly for his outstanding performance in the bronze final against England.
Yeah, he was particular. That was old school Cheika, really going for it. It was like, there you are.
There you are. You've been hiding that for the last year.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So the Salt Bay Extra Salty Award goes to who have you said?
Just pick one.
Why did I think just because we're in the thick of it, you're making me pick. There's not even a winner on this.
They're all losers.
You bastard! So I thought we were going to say New Zealand.
Yeah, I think we're going to
Yeah. You didn't mark it.
I forgot to mark it.
You bastard.
We've been pretty bad. It's been,
Yeah,
it's been
so New
ultra,
Zealand-
it's been ultra negative.
And I think part of it just comes from the fact, like, I felt it a little bit myself. Like, there's just, like, when you're so disappointed and it's so tight and it's so close, and there's just so many little factors that if this happened or that happened, we would have won it. Like, but the majority of the things that if they changed were completely in our control. Like if we got those kicks, if we had
Line out
better
errors in the first
discipline,
half,
like all
red
that sort of
card.
stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, like that's all completely within our control. Like there's like a couple of decisions, but there were a couple of decisions the other way. The fact it's so close and it means so much to New Zealanders, I think it's just like it's almost like a reaction of grief. Like it's that. It's
Not
like,
rational.
Yeah, it's just anger and like that day I was like I felt salty.
Yeah.
Like and I was like just trying to not let that like impede my judgment too much. But like like
Some of the stuff I just saw that was just like so bad. Like I could see
What
comments
about- 'cause I've-
on
I've-
Facebook of people like, I've just looked up the rules and
don't-
actually Sia Khaleesi should have been red carded, but Sam Cane was fine. Like,
yeah.
like
I
this is your first time reading.
I don't really
the
go.
rules.
I don't go
Yeah.
deep into comments. Really,
shouldn't.
because
It's
comments
pretty toxic.
Comments are just there's shit everywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
the
for
All
whatever
Blacks
team-
fan page on Facebook has been pretty awful.
all week, is it? Yeah,
I
okay.
think if it had been the South Africans losing, because I remember when, like we've been just talking about salty fans from other fan groups, when we beat South Africa in the 2019 pool stage, it was not maybe to this level because it wasn't a final, but oh my God, it was bad. I remember making a video about it, like stop blaming refs.
Yeah.
Because they were just like bitching about the refs so much in that
I
game.
think it just
So
means-
this is fans being fans. So
yeah,
I get it.
fans will do it, and like it's the biggest
By the way,
occasion.
in that game, I remember South Africa had a tackling percentage of like 79%, which was like their lowest in 12 months. And I was like,
Yeah.
you can't blame the ref when you don't fucking tackle.
yeah.
Like,
and like
that's like us. You can't blame the ref if you can't kick your goals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
100%.
putting that out there.
It is what it is, and I think I'm not even wildly unsurprised, just because there are a few I'm not even contentious but controversial calls in the game that were massive, whether they were right or wrong. Like I think personally, the most like 99% of all the calls were right, but yeah, just big calls, big moments, big emotions, big feelings, big expectations, just big reactions, big anger. And it'll die down over time. But I think this one is going to always stick in the collective memory of All Black fans as we should have won that.
So bloody close.
Just being so unbelievably close. But to be fair, the French feel that way about the quarterfinal. The English feel that way about the semi-final.
The Irish feel that about their quarterfinal against us.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
That is.
And we're not salty. I'm not salty. I'm just
Disappointed.
just sad. Yeah. It is what it is.
Next award, on a happier note,
Yes.
goes to the super sub, somebody who's made
And there's a
great
few of them.
impact from their role from the bench. Samuel Whitelock.
You need the
from
envelope.
New Zealand. I just knew that one from memory because I'm one of the nominees. nominated.
Massive turnover at the end of the French game.
Irish game.
Irish game. Don't think he was. Did he get anything good in the
Snuck
French
onto
game?
the field.
Yeah. At the end of the French game, and that was the end of the game.
That's it.
Broke Irish hearts.
Continues to be a top tackler even when he's on the bench.
Yeah.
Ox
And, like-
and Che from South Africa.
Just, I think I said
Pretty
it.
much, I don't think without that performance, I don't think South Africa make it through to the final.
I certainly don't think so. They were what was 15-6 with 15 minutes left.
Maybe
Something
a bit
like-
longer, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were dead and buried. I
Looked
really
like
did.
it.
I really
And he
did.
comes on and just dominates.
Yeah.
Quokka Smith, also from South Africa, pretty much
Quokka.
exclusively a bench player.
Yeah.
Helps them with the 7-1 split because he can cover the back line
So
of the and just a
dynamic.
turnover machine.
Dynamic at the ball, like even as a threat with ball in hand. Just an absolute. He's a
That try he
fetcher,
scored against us, remember?
Yeah, and like
Unbelievable.
in a game with very few highlights for the South Africans, that was one of the best tries I've seen against the All Blacks I can remember. Just the way he got on the ball, there's like a half
second.
a moment
That's
of opportunity, and he
Yep.
just capitalized.
And
Incredible
Sekou
player.
Makalu from France, who continues, kind of like Quokka Smith, to fill that void of being able to cover the back line as a loose forward if he needs to be. Unbelievable turn of pace for a big Lucy.
Yeah.
Super sub. It's a contentious one. This one was a split decision.
It was a split decision, but somehow you called rank.
I called it.
What is this rank? How do you get rank?
I
You
don't
got
know.
more subscribers.
I guess so.
Maybe that's the rank. You're like, nah, you're wrong. So I said I wanted it to be Oxen Shade because
Prop
without-
love.
Prop love. Yeah, I'm giving some prop love, and without him, I don't think they're in the World Cup final. But you said, I wasn't as opposed to your one as
Yeah.
you were as
I
opposed to
went
mine.
with the-
Because
over
you were
the-
like, I hate Ox. He's a terrible player. It was just because Sinclair was having an absolute shitter. It was
Yeah.
it was glorified.
Because that sounds like me.
that was you. But yeah, the winner is Quaka Smith from South Africa. Winner on
Over the
Split
course of the season.
Yes.
Impact.
So that was the
Every
argument.
single
You said
time.
it's just over the end, whereas Ox just.
Whereas, like in the final, Ox wasn't able to have that same impact as he had in the
no,
season.
because our scrum was
Our scrum was pretty
freaking
decent.
great.
But Quaka,
We'll send that out to Quokka. Was still
in
out
Japan these days, I think,
Yeah,
so-
he's celebrating. Isn't he still celebrating with the rest of the boys?
Will be.
He couldn't make it here today, so accepting on his behalf is Jack Morgan.
Jack Morgan,
so-
the Welsh player. Hey, Jack, just
Yeah.
stay over there. We'll be with you in a minute.
Yeah.
We've only got 2 left to go.
Mark
Yeah,
Morgan.
you just stay there.
Yeah,
I know you
don't-
got training with Scarlets
Don't
soon.
ruin the podcast,
So
Jack.
just that's all right. No, you don't need to come on camera. Just stay over there. Yeah, 2 minutes. We've got 2 awards left and we're done.
yeah. We'll have a cup of tea.
Thanks, Jack.
Yeah.
This award was not chosen by us.
Oh no, this
This
is
is
right.
the Richard.
Richard Kahui Award for I'm Not Gay, but basically sexiest man in rugby. The award criteria last year is the same as this year. It went to my partner's WhatsApp friend group called Scrabble Peeps. Shout out Scrabble Peeps.
Good on you, Scrabble peeps.
Yeah. Really appreciate
Thanks
your
for
input.
watching.
Where they have a hot debate over who the sexiest rugby player is. And then this is not decided by
Once
us.
thing again, it is a disgusting, disgusting
Hey, there is
balance.
one. There's a forward.
There's
in there.
one forward.
There's a forward in there.
Yeah. Richie Gray from Scotland. He is the one forward on the list.
Because he's got big dick energy.
And they actually mentioned like some stats. They were like, he's 2 point something meters.
Yeah,
and I was
they
like,
looked him
wow.
up.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Damien Dearlinde from South Africa.
Yeah, just
the
a-
jaw to beat all jaws.
Yeah, he does have an intimidating jawline.
Anthony Watson from England. He's had a few different hairstyles in his time, so it may depend on which photo you look up as to whether you decide whether he is the sexiest man in rugby. Andre Pollard from South Africa.
Andre, there was one particular girl in the group who was really
Keen on Andre Pollard.
really advocating for Andre Pollard.
She would have pulled rank if she'd...
She had the numbers. but
exactly.
she was
And then
lobbying.
Gary
We've got-
Ringrose from Ireland,
we've
who
got
is
5.
probably would have been my choice because he is a sexy beast.
He's a bit of your cup of.
Exactly.
He's your cup of Guinness.
I like a bit of that Irish whiskey in the morning.
Pint of Guinness. Okay, and the Richard Kahui Award for I'm Not Gay, but the sexiest man in rugby goes to Anthony Watson.
Anthony Watson
There you
from
go.
England. Well done, mate. You may not have
done.
made the World Cup with your injury, but this makes up for it.
Yeah,
More than makes up for it.
Imagine all the pussy you'll pull with that. Look at that. Is he married?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, now that he's got that illustrious award, we'll send that out to you. He couldn't make it tonight, so accept
Oh, Jack, you can take it when you head back to the UK. You just drop it off by his house.
Except he got his award on his behalf as Mark Morgan from
That's
2
Jack.
Cents, 2 Cents Rugby, also one of the co-hosts of 2 Cents Extracted, a rugby podcast.
Final award, folks. Thank you for sticking with us.
Appreciate it.
All 5 of you. The final award for
We
tonight's
really
show,
appreciate you 5.
World Cup champions. It has to finish.
No, we missed an award.
Which one?
Most valuable South African.
This is the
Oh, sorry.
final award.
All right, okay.
So, World Cup champions.
Yes.
They need their own category. You've
Yeah,
just
yeah,
spoiled it
yeah,
for everybody.
yeah, exactly.
The most valuable South African. Let me lay upon you
You're gonna lay it on me.
the 4 nominees. Andre Pollard, not even named in the Rugby World Cup squad initially, ends up kicking all of the points
All of the points.
in the Rugby World Cup
ice
final.
in that man's
Ice
veins.
in his veins. Double World Cup winner.
Lives
back
for the
to
moment.
motherfucking
Lives
back.
for the moment. I would really have liked to have his boot on my side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Captain Fantastic, Sia Kolisi.
The man who can unite a nation.
Second time for him to lift the William Webb Ellis
Question for
trophy
you.
above his head.
Who's the more significant captain? Sia Khaleesi or Francois Pienaar?
I think Sia.
You reckon?
His interviews are just if we had a category for like Gives best interviews,
Yeah,
it'd be
he's-
between Sia and Andy Farrell. They're both gold. I love listening to them.
But he's like
They talk a lot of sense. He's just
he's
so
like-
reasonable.
He's like Barack Obama, just talks and like
Right.
sort of keeps you captivated.
Like
and,
about that Geordie
yeah.
Barrett thing where they're like, oh, he didn't shake the president's hand when he did.
I don't even I've honestly tried to keep.
So there was a TikTok which showed Geordie Barrett walking past the South African president. And the South African president kind of giving the guy who lifted the trophy second, like, come on, bro, bugger off.
Yeah.
Let
like
the players. I was a little bit pissed off about that.
You're like, dude,
you're a politician. Do the dignified thing and let the players have their moment.
You're literally called a dignitary in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, barring that, I'm not really interested in South African politics. But I thought if that had been our prime minister, I would have been like, who's our prime minister? Luxon.
Yeah.
Baldy, get the fuck out of there.
Christopher Luxon is not quite the prime minister yet. He
will be.
Prime Minister elect.
Okay, there you go.
Chippy. Christopher. Another Chris is the prime minister.
So anyway, there's a shot of Geordie walking past.
Chippy wasn't even there. We wouldn't have had a prime minister.
There we go. Chippy had other things to worry about.
He was
losing an election. So yeah, Geordie's walking past, and it looks like the South African president, I think his name is Ramaphosa, is like giving him a bit of an evil eye, like, hey, what the fuck's wrong with you? Bit of side eye.
Yeah.
And so people clipped that clip and was like, oh, he didn't shake his hand. And people were just, based on that, one camera angle, one like 5-second shot, absolutely laying into Geordie Barrett, including some people with like a lot of followers on social media. Yeah. And then there's another shot where he shakes his hand and just walks past him. So it's like, maybe you don't just trust.
Maybe that guy was just, you said it so much, I actually remember seeing the clip.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a bit of height envy.
He's like, he's a big. I was at the Waitakere Library the other day.
Yes.
Just walking in to the library with my children.
And someone went, knobhead.
And someone went to me, you're a tall C word, aren't you? And I was just like, why?
You are a tall C word.
Like, what? So maybe it is. Yeah. People don't like to. Geordie's taller than me, so maybe he was just like, Jesus, he's a big unit.
Yeah, exactly.
Nominate him for the big unit award.
Yeah, maybe. If only he could. Only we have nominated him for Kick of the Year.
Exactly.
Not that we had Kick of the Year. We had Kick of the Year.
We had Kick of the Year initially with Matthew Jalibert.
Oh, yeah, we had worst kick.
But we couldn't think of 4 particular.
We realized that we need to pay more attention to rugby throughout.
We need to write notes.
Yeah. Write so many notes.
I know.
You need to like specifically go, this is my.
Yeah, we need to decide the categories. We decide the categories in January and then keep notes of them throughout the year.
Yeah, we do it.
We'll definitely do that.
Generally do this half an hour before we start.
There we go. Yeah. Director of Rugby extraordinaire took South African rugby from 57-0 to double World Cup.
Back-to-back things.
Rassie Erasmus, your favourite South African.
Hell of a tweeter.
Hell of a tweeter.
Hell of a tweeter. Now the
and finally
now the coach.
Finally, the fourth of the nominees. Lowe is the note I've got here. Are you thinking Francois Lowe? No, he didn't play in the World Cup.
No, he did not.
This Lowe is Rian Lowe.
The man of the weekly update.
From a rugby YouTube channel helpfully named Rian Lowe.
The best South African YouTuber out there, does some of the best rugby content. The best South African rugby content by a long stretch from my stretch, and just
entertaining, humorous,
very entertaining.
He puts like the most random references in there, like little Easter eggs. Like
if you dig really way back into his catalog, he does a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of rapping. Yeah, he's the man.
Certainly, all very fine nominees.
Yeah, absolutely. Now look, okay, and the winner is look. One of them was...
Don't demand a recount.
No. One of them was clearly a joke, wasn't it? Okay? Because it was never going to be Rassie Erasmus, that bastard. It's definitely Rian Lowe. Rian Lowe was... There we go. Rian didn't make the effort to be here with us tonight.
He's a shocker. He's got a newborn, so we'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Accepting on his behalf is...
I'm sure Tony will be out to South Africa to give you this in person soon.
With like a knife in my back. Skipped on his behalf is Mark Morgan from 2 Cents Rugby, also a co-host of 2 Cents Gets Distracted, a rugby podcast. But yeah, Rian Lowe does a hell of a job and has had a big year, babies.
I'm done with babies.
Yeah, I'm done with them too.
No more nappies for this guy.
It's going to be your own nappies. You're getting so old.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
Look, well, that's it. That's the 2CGDs for another year. Well, it was glamorous, wasn't it? Is it nice to have a glitzy evening? Look, last year he turned up in the dress code. Do you want to point out what you're wearing?
I'm wearing Tony's jacket. I've got the sleeves kind of rolled up, but even when they're not rolled up, it's not a heck of a lot of difference.
So
For
you
you
gotta
guys,
be, you gotta be careful what you do. Do it with 2 arms. It looks quite bad.
For you guys, listen. Oh yeah. For you guys, still look very Nazi. I can't say that word. For you guys listening, I'm wearing Tony's jacket, and the sleeves come down about halfway down my forearm. Maybe not quite halfway.
Yeah. Actually, can I be honest with
very
you?
long
I'd
arms.
never wear this jacket. It was actually my father's.
Oh.
And he was kind of a shorter, like
Right.
quite broad.
Right.
But shorter than I am. So,
Okay, I have very long, like
wearing
orangutan-like arms. Like
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
a photo of
Wearing
me
a-
from my school ball.
Are you
in
okay
my
with wearing a dead man's jacket?
It's fine.
You can
My
handle
final year of, it was either my final year or penultimate year of high school. I went to the school ball, and I hired a suit. And yes, the sleeves were just a little bit too short. I look like a bit of an ape with my long arms. I look
And
like
you
I
would've-
should be just kind of,
And you would have
you know,
been
knuckles on the floor,
you
basically,
would
a
have
knuckle
been,
dragon.
You would have been a beanpole as well.
Oh yeah, I was the absolute stick.
Yeah, like freaking 60
My uncle
kilos.
used to
drinking
call me
weight.
a long, tall streak of weasel piss. That was what he called me.
I think I would have liked your uncle.
Yeah, he's still alive.
No, well,
That's our old Uncle Clive. Still alive, Uncle Clive.
he's a big time listener of 2 Cents Gets Distracted. But anyway, this is the big awards evening, but it also commemorates the final episode of 2 Cents Gets Distracted, which I think is episode 36.
That's a fair few, given there's only 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah. That's 30, at least over 36 hours of us talking shit. So
Absolute shite.
for those of you who listen every week,
Somebody wanted to nominate Best Rugby Podcast, and they nominated this one, so that's very kind of you.
yeah, we had our biggest episodes, definitely listener-ship wise,
During the World Cup.
During the World Cup. We really
It's all
appreciate it.
downhill from here.
Yeah, it is. But we'll keep plugging away even on like those weeks that, you know, it's just
Super Rugby.
we're like trying to get amped about the 4th week of Super Rugby. And well, we kind of got through this year because there was Six Nations takes care of a bit of a thing. I remember things kind of picking up once we got into the URC and
Then the Irish came here.
The Irish came here in the beginning of last year.
Oh yeah, I'm getting my
We
dates
weren't
mixed
potting
up.
up. We weren't even potting, man. But anyway, it's been fun, hasn't it?
But we're not. What?
We weren't podding until the end of our first pod was just after we won at Alice Park.
Really?
I think so. And Fozzie retains his job.
Oh yeah.
Was the pilot episode, and then
Oh, wow.
I think our second episode was us reacting to
The lost
the Argentina.
Argentinians. Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez,
Memories.
it feels like way longer than that.
Yeah. I make shorter periods of time feel long.
You get a talent for it.
Yeah, so I think we only did about 10 last year or something like that. So about 36 is a good. It's good. We missed a couple. I think we missed one or two just because of like.
I think once we were like, "There's nothing on," and then there was something major on. I can't remember what that
Oh,
was.
we had a week off. It was like building up to the week, and then all the news dropped.
Happened, yeah.
And then like.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, and then I think we missed a couple of weeks when you were in China and I was in Malaysia. So yeah, and then next year we'll do our best to cover some rugby. I guess you're a non-stop.
I'm
rugby
already
show.
into the non-World Cup rugby,
Straight into it.
into the URC.
Oh god,
Yeah,
I was thinking about making some cricket content, but I don't know if I can be asked.
I'm not watching no cricket.
I love cricket. Love
I
it.
used to love cricket.
You would love it again if you put your ass into it. You can do it. Put your back into it.
Yeah, I've been watching the NHL.
Yeah.
Enjoying that.
Why don't you do some NHL content?
Because there's already a guy called the hockey guy.
And you.
And I'm not Canadian. Like, who's
And-
going to be like, yeah, I want to listen to a New Zealander
And
talk
it's
about
weird
ice hockey.
when 2 Cents Rugby starts.
Like, the fact that you call it ice hockey in New Zealand, Canadians are like, why the fuck are you calling it ice hockey? They just call it hockey.
yeah.
It's not called the NIHL. It's just the NHL.
Yeah, that's true. The NIHL.
I literally talked to 2 Canadian girls when I was like 23, moved to China, and I was like, oh, so you guys must be into your ice hockey, right? And they were like, well, that's just hockey. And I was like,
They
no,
call it-
hockey is the one you play on grass.
Yeah,
And they're
that
like,
is what
oh,
we call
field
hockey.
hockey.
And they call that field hockey.
Yeah. See, for us, that's just hockey.
And field hockey's a much smaller sport.
Yeah, it is. Why is that? It's bullshit.
You want to be a hockey advocate?
Well, it's essentially the same game, except it's on grass. I guess it doesn't have the big hits because they don't slide into each other.
And they've got to be quite mad to play that game. Their hands get munted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but the sticks aren't as badass. Something about ice is kind of
Most
cool.
ice hockey players lose a lot of teeth.
Yeah, and have scars and shit across
Yeah,
their face.
exactly. There's a guy died actually playing ice hockey in
Recently?
the UK a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, freak accident with a skate hit him in the neck. Sorry to you.
Sorry, bro.
Condolences. That's a great way to end the pod, Mark.
Yeah, talking about a sports death. Knock on wood, we don't get any more of those next year.
Congratulations, South Africa.
Well done, South Africa.
We'll stop whining about it.
Well done to you, Mark. It's a great way to spend a Monday night, isn't it?
My wife loves it when I come here. She absolutely adores it.
Yeah, she's a massive fan. She listens every week, though. doesn't she?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you to you guys for those of you who watch it. You know,
Listen to it.
like if you listen to it just when you're into a rugby game, you want to hear a bit of a people react to it, or if you're a hardcore who likes to listen to our bullshit every week, if you're anybody who gets irritated with us or particularly me, we
If you're in
appreciate
South
you
Africa
too.
and you like me but you hate Tony, I
Appreciate you.
you coming along. Just
I appreciate them
suffering
too.
through Tony and enjoying what I have to say.
Your who gets no one gets irritated at you about anything.
Some Kiwis get irritated that I wear Wallabies jerseys.
Okay.
Yeah, and
It's very
English
small.
jerseys. Yeah.
Those people aren't going to comment too much about it, are they? They would have been early on comments, wouldn't
Get
it?
it every now and again.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, how can you be a Kiwi and wear that bloody jersey?
Yeah, all right.
Oh, I had it also after the World Cup final. Like, how can I take you seriously when you're wearing a South African jersey and you claim to be a Kiwi? I guess that's like, oh, you've just found my channel for the first time.
Yeah, and this is odd. Anyway, good on you, Mark. Good on you.
Love you, folks.
Hardy down. Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
All that shit.
Oh, rugby. It's a sport.